want to start off by playing this clip. Nothing is going on. It's mostly peaceful. Again, they're doing the meme yet again. This is from a local reporter on the ground in LA. Watch this.
Demonstrations had been going on right outside the Federal Detention Center. Most of those demonstrators were very peaceful. They were chanting, they were shouting. People were driving by honking their horns. And again, they were expressing their anger about the detention of so many immigrants at the Federal Center. Most of the evening, the federal agents stayed inside the building, but at a certain point, some of the demonstrators got very close to the property. In fact, some of them went onto the property, started tagging the building, started banging on fences.
That's enough of that. I think we get the gist of it, but that, yeah, again, mostly peaceful. Brianna, they do the meme constantly, and it's a serious situation, but it's hard for me to not laugh.
Yeah, and Joe Bob, they do it without a hint of irony. And the reason that you see the propaganda press trying to minimize or downplay the violence that we're seeing is because to acknowledge the violence means to acknowledge who's behind that violence. And what's behind the violence right now is a bunch of illegal aliens and organizations and far leftists who support mass migration. They support the invasion that has taken place in this country because they don't believe in the West. They don't believe in America as a unique, private and separate entity that deserves her own sovereignty. They want to dismantle borders. And so the press can't acknowledge the violence because they have to acknowledge what's driving that violence. And that undermines their entire left-wing agenda.
Yeah, and April, you're there in Los Angeles. You're not there because it's incredibly dangerous, and I wouldn't recommend going there. And also, I'm thankful for the reporters that are willing to brave the riot and get the much-needed footage out of those horrible areas. But just being in Los Angeles, what is kind of the feeling that Angelinos are getting? Are any of your friends close to that area? Because it's not happening, except for the fact that it is.
Okay, so I feel like we're living like an Orwellian novel. Didn't they say in 1984, the party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and your ears? That's literally what it feels like. Whatever you're seeing, you're not seeing. They're telling you. They said that the LA riots are just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn. I know we have like self-driving cars, but do we have cars that just ignite and light themselves? What is that? The people and the criminals have to light the cars on fire. And the woman who's saying in the reporter, the ABC reporter, looks petrified, by the way, with those guys shouting and being rowdy behind her. She's lying through her teeth, and it's very clear on her face. And this same network, ABC7, has been pushing fear, propaganda, mongering nonstop for months. And then on that same day, it was hilarious, like sad but funny. But the same day when everything was burning down, they literally posted about pride and that they're all going to the pride parade and we should all be joyous and happy. And when there's anything going on, they turn off comments. That's what they do, these networks. It's a lot of censorship. So if they think that burning down cars and looting and injuring law enforcement, that's peaceful and like Karen Bass has this under control in Newsom, then I don't want to be around to know when it's like, Houston, we got a problem. What's going to happen then?
This whole thing reminds me of don't reject the truth that you see in front of your own eyes. Kind of like the Joe Biden is mentally incapacitated. That whole thing seems very familiar.